Hi, I'm Laika.
And I'm T.
And this is Conscious
Conversations.
And we appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, we're going to pick a subject from the Holy Grail.
Yeah, and I picked last time.
Oh,
so it's your turn.
All right, you want to hold it and I'll pick? It's funny that you look away.
I know.
Okay. Aw, the heart chakra.
Ooh. Okay.
Well, the heart chakra, known as the Anahata, is part of the top 7 main energy centers in the body. It's located in the center of the chest. The color is green.
Check it out.
Yeah. The thymus gland is the gland that it affects. I think so. I don't know.
I don't know either. I know it's a gland over here somewhere. Well, on these sides.
But then you would think that would be the throat chakra.
Right. So thymus.
So maybe it's not the thymus. I thought it was, though.
I thought it was, too. We got a few glands around here, too, though.
Yeah.
I have to look that
up. Governs universal love, self-love.
And total acceptance.
Anahata means unstruck. So it's like the part of you that is unbreakable, no matter what is done to you or what you go through. It's the part of you that can't be struck down, can't be taken down. It's indestructible, I guess.
Okay.
We're seeing a lot of people with heart issues lately.
Yeah. And that could be heart blockages, heart chakra blockages, perhaps.
Grief.
A lot of that, mourning, guilt.
Yeah.
I know over giving. People pleasing will block that too. And I never knew until my heart chakra was blocked that we have like it's 2 sides to every chakra.
Right.
So the back one used to hurt. And I'm like, what the heck is this? Even sometimes now I have to realign myself. Once I feel that pain in my back, I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah, so that's something you can do at home too, is we get so focused on opening our hearts in the front, but bringing awareness to the back side and think about opening up the energy center from the back as well. Not a lot of people bring awareness to that part of it. Yeah. It's important.
For real. And thankfully, doing the freestyle stretches, I was able to do certain things, and I never knew, like with yoga, and that's why I gotta go to a class. I gotta get certified so I know exactly what the moves are that I do. But it's some of the moves, like
the cat cow.
Yes, literally.
Because you're opening, and then you're opening, and then you're opening, and then you're opening.
See, you know what I'm talking about. That's cool. But yeah, that's one of my practices to open up. Well, to at least loosen up the physical part of the heart chakra. What are some things that you say could open up?
A forgiveness practice. The Ho'oponopono meditation technique is really great for the heart chakra.
Yeah.
Meditation, sending loving kindness. This is a technique where you might start off by sending loving kindness to someone you love. It comes very naturally. And then you start to send loving kindness vibrations to a neutral person, maybe your mailman or your favorite waitress, or and then you try to send it to someone that you're having issues with, and you start to feel into that resistance and try to understand, why are we resisting with this person? So we might have a deeper understanding of ourselves and why we're struggling with a specific person, and maybe how we can have more compassion for them Because sometimes I think when we're struggling with people, we get so caught up in the struggle that we forget that they have their own things going on. They're human and they're only operating from their level of consciousness. Can we have patience and compassion and kindness despite that, you know? So, and then one of the things too, people, when they have a lot of grief or heartache, they'll start to physically do this. And it's like to protect. It's like their body is reacting. They want to protect that, you know, vulnerable part of themselves. And so we see poor posture. You know, so if it's let's be brave, let's be courageous and open up that heart. You know, I even myself through heartbreak, you know, have had to relearn how can I open my heart back up again and trust and open myself to opportunities and new people and things like that. Because it can be hard when you've been hurt and burnt. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I found myself even doing that for a while, especially like when you're dealing with depression and stuff like that. That's why tapping in to the breath and the body posture and all of that, you realize like, whoa. And then I read somewhere about the superhero posture or something like that. You stick your chest out and it brings in confidence and security. And I was like, yeah. So I practiced that. You know what I'm saying? I have to catch myself when I'm leaning. Because even if we don't feel a certain way, sometimes just because we get laxed in a different position, we'll naturally feel that way. Maybe our brain is registered that we're feeling a way that we're not. So
we can fake it. Sometimes we can reprogram the brain to think that we are feeling good and confident even when we're not. And then that naturally helps us to start feeling confident. And like muscle memory. Like, no, we're confident. And then it just becomes more natural. And
and then it becomes a habit, habitual. Well, like you said, natural thing.
Leafy greens are good for the heart.
Okay. Now, I've seen this before, and especially like with crystals and stuff like that. Now they say green is the main heart chakra color. Now, is pink as well?
It can be, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've even heard turquoise.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Turquoise is almost like a mixture of the high heart, because if you think about the heart center and the throat coming together, it's like now it's more of like that higher love, self-love. You know, we love ourselves so much that we speak our truth now, you know. So I've seen turquoise and I've seen the green. So turquoise, rose quartz, which is pink, is a stone. Turquoise is a stone. Green aventurine is the green one that I go to usually for heart. But rose quartz. Some of the oils, lang lang, is a good essential oil for the heart.
Okay. And spearmint, maybe not peppermint, but spearmint, maybe.
Maybe, yeah. I would see peppermint more for throat.
Yeah.
Okay, so oils and stones. So some yoga poses would be cat-cow, camel pose, any heart opener that you do, Matsyasana, fish pose. So forgiveness work, but also inner child work. It's good.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah. That one will open it up for real.
And then we said Ho'oponopono and loving kindness, meditation techniques.
When it comes to the heart chakra, sometimes that one is a hard one, like to put into words. Sometimes, especially when it comes to like to activate it, like if your heart is closed and you need to open up, or like if you're cold. And I'm speaking from past experience as well, and I've observed other people, you know what I'm saying, like when I talk about heart chakra and heart activation, like what that really feels like, what that really means, and different from past, okay, so from experiences like with people who deal with PTSD and running away from like feeling, not wanting to feel like mushy feelings and stuff like that, you know, kind of avoiding it, One of the things that I had to do as a practice was to actually the things that I ran away from, like to avoid feeling. I had like some of my practices were
Oh, good job, Mishka. Let's get down, please. Oh my
one of the one of the practices was to like watch videos that because I used to avoid crying. Now would that be a blockage? You will say would that be from the heart or what would that be like from feeling any kind of emotion that would make me want to cry? So that's either like heart, I mean like happy tears or sad tears, just like that feeling. What would that?
Well, I would see that as like repression and suppression. So it's like, oh, I don't want to feel that, so I'm just going to push it down. And, it always feels like it's here. You ever feel that? Like your throat starts to close up and you're like, and you try to like fight it. It's like you're physically and energetically like pushing it back down. But what we're doing is then pushing it back down into our field. And so if that's still in our field, then it can trigger its head later in an ugly way. So it's better to feel all the things that come up and try to figure out where it's coming from so we can heal it, right? And then because if we don't heal it,
it's gonna come out.
It's gonna come out
some kind of way.
In some kind of, and usually it's an ugly shadowick. I'm making that a word.
We're gonna write that one.
Yeah, it's not a very pretty way. Does that answer your question though?
Yeah, and also like so that's one thing. Well, I had to watch videos that I had to purposely watch things that would make me cry. You know what I'm saying? To activate it. So I got used to feeling like it's okay to cry.
Yeah.
Because this is the blockage from coming out and out of the eyes, but it starts like here. And that's that, that pain.
Start down in your pit of your stomach.
You ain't kidding. What I found to help me a lot was to watch the videos, the compilations where it was a baby or somebody's first time seeing or hearing for the first time. The doctors.
Yeah.
I forget, it's a name for it, and I can't remember what it's called, but it was just a combination of videos where it was their first time hearing their mother's voice or their dad. Different things like that really make me cry. And it opened up my heart.
Yeah.
And that's the positive side of, you know what I'm saying, that heart, the opening up the heart chakra and seeing things differently, in a different way.
Yeah, part of our cultural programming has been that don't cry, toughen up, and sensitivity. There was something wrong with sensitivity. When sensitivity is actually a superpower for us, right?
Yeah.
And so we were taught that it was a negative thing. Now your actual physical heart has a lot of doorways into it. And then if you think about that energetically, going there and spending time in there, I like to just have people put their hand on their heart and close their eyes and kind of feel as they breathe. The chest rises and presses into the hand. They might even start feeling their pulse or their heartbeat here and just really connecting and tapping into the energy that sits here. Sometimes feelings will come up. And I tell people, try to get into a mind of allowing and accepting, because that frequency of allowing and accepting speeds up the healing process.
Yeah.
Because that's the opposite of, push it down,
Yeah. I recently came across some information that I did not know about the heart. That is a spiral.
Like the energy of it?
No, not just that, but the physical heart. If you open it up.
Oh, wow.
It's a spiral and it rolls inward. I was like, what? And so like, when we do things that excite us, it of course that energy goes into the heart and it comes into the I don't know the technical terminology of it, but it goes into the heart and it spirals through the heart, and that same energy is what pumps through our bodies, and that of course, comes out of here. It comes out of the heart chakra and becomes our whole vibration. A
Yeah.
spiral. So everything is a spiral.
Yeah, the Fibonacci sequence,
Yes,
right?
yes, exactly that.
It's
I
like
was
creation.
what?
And so what your heart desires sets forth the energy of what you're going to magnetize towards you.
Mm-hmm.
But it can also work in a negative way too, right? Like
everything has a polar.
Yeah. So you gotta be mindful of what your heart is saying, what you're magnetizing to you.
Yeah.
That's so cool. It makes so much sense.
Right? Game changer.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. So when it comes to the heart and the head. So that's the tricky part. So let's play around with it. How do you know when if something is from your head or from your heart?
Yeah. So they say that the linear logical thinking of the mind is a more masculine yang energy, and that the heart and the intuition is more of a yin, more feminine. And it's funny because too, I've seen a lot of like, new movements, like, because I'm all about the divine feminine. I really am, and the uprise of it and empowering it and everything like that. But I've also seen movements that are like they take the pendulum to the polar, like all the way divine feminine. It's like you can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Like we're given our minds for a reason, so we can't discredit the mind. And the logical thinking. It's a really, the goal is to marry and merge the two. You have to, and what I've been using, a term that I've been using it's only been the last couple of days, but I really like it, I'm digging it, is heart intelligence. If you can tap into your heart intelligence and marry the two, you can even do it in meditation. Set the intention of like coming into the heart and then coming into the brain and then kind of trying to like breathe in a synchronized fashion of like marrying the two and bringing these energies together. So yeah, the mind and the heart are not always on the same page. Sometimes like the heart wants what the heart wants and then the mind's like, no, you shouldn't do that. But then you have to ask yourself, is the mind that's going, oh, you shouldn't do that, is that the cultural programming chiming in and saying, oh, well, you should do this and you shouldn't do that? Because there's a part of the mind that's logical, and then there's the part of the mind that's old programming. So being able to recognize those two, I think, would be the discernment.
Absolutely. That makes sense. So would you say, like, because we know like the left side of the brain is more logic, that's more masculine, and then the right side is the creative, the feminine. Would you say the right side of the brain is more connected to the heart? Because when they merge together, well, I don't know, when they merge together, that's probably what becomes the heart.
So we have two main nadis, the Ida and the Pingala. And so the right side brain is that more feminine, artistic, but your left side of your body is actually the part that is connected to the right side brain, right? So, and this is your more feminine, receptive side. And then your left side, logical, linear. Your right side body is that more doing, serving.
So wait a minute. So the right brain, left
like a mirror.
So, and the left side is where the heart is, right?
Yeah, so you're probably right. There's a direct gateway here.
Wow. I don't know. I'm just saying. I was just thinking, dang, that's tight. That makes sense. Ooh. Okay. See, I like playing with my thoughts.
It's always learning. We're always learning, right?
For real. For real.
It's exciting.
Yes.
So what else could we say about the heart chakra? I wish I would have all my stuff because I have tons of stuff on this, but I have archetypes for all the chakras, and I want to say shadow side archetype is the victim or the people pleaser, and then I wish I could remember the in your power archetype I think it's just, like the lover, you
Mhm.
know.
Like a brave lover.
Yeah.
Just not afraid to put your heart out there, put your love out there, like fearless.
Yeah.
Lover, fearless.
Yeah, I have learned boundaries,
Ooh.
right? So like
Yeah.
I was all just heart open, let me serve, let me um, but then I learned, okay, and this is a nice little practice that someone shared with me, and it was good advice. Like you put yourself out there and you give a little,
Mhm.
and then you wait. Now, is it received and is it reciprocated? And then if it is, then you can give a little bit more. So it's like you do it in increments and you gauge, are they giving in an even fashion?
Yeah.
Because if you don't check in with that and you just keep giving, then eventually you end up resentful, like, well, why aren't they giving anything?
Yup. And it started off not even to be about, you know, whether it's balanced or not, because the heart is so open, it doesn't care until it starts getting drained.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's good. That's really good. I never heard that.
Yeah, it's helped me for sure.
Period.
Let's see.
What else about the heart?
Berries, raspberries, leafy greens, water.
Oats. Are beans really good for the heart? Yeah, they are.
Beans.
Yeah. You know the song Beans, Beans, Goofy? Sorry, I was being goofy for a second.
I love it. I think that's good for the heart, being goofy, laughter.
Yeah.
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 Comedy, inner child, like being silly, dancing and singing and tapping into that who you were before life got in the way and told you who you should be. What did you like to do as a kid? Did you like to ride your bike or climb trees or, play with your friends? Like, get back to that innocence, that childlike wonder, playtime. Adults, I don't think they have enough playtime. They should start scheduling it in.
Yes. Gotta have playtime.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of time adults think their playtime is like going out to the bars,
Yeah.
But there's other things you can do to activate that inner child and play without,
Yeah, I feel like we have to have adult fun.
Yeah.
Whatever that means.
Playing with your kids, playing pretend.
Yes. Imagination. Mm-hmm.
So important.
Yeah, it is. Because that's where the creative juices can get into. That's how we create.
Read stories and tell stories. Yeah. Tribal communities, they would tell stories and they would share stories. Yeah, we don't do enough of that.
Yeah, we will though.
Yeah.
We on the way.
Yeah.
Also, you know what? Oh, what were you finna say?
No, I'm just ready to hear what you have to say.
But that's the good thing about doing the shadow work with the child, the inner child, the broken inner child that wants to play but is afraid. Yeah. And we have to go through the process of reassuring them, that it is okay. We're doing the work to take care of them, to make sure that they feel, the inner child feels safe enough to be fully happy and free. Yeah. And remember the things that, what I'm saying, we did when we were children, innocent. Yeah. Before life happened and stuff like that, and go back to those times like, yeah, I remember when I used to do this and that, and relive it again. Yeah. Like, yeah. And like, what did you want to be? When you were a kid, what did you want to be when you grew up? And a lot of times we might say, well, I wanted to sing, or I wanted to dance, or I wanted to do this, or I wanted to do that. And then how many adults got in the way of that and said, oh, well, that's silliness, or you won't get paid very much to do that, or, that just, and then so we let those dreams die inside of us because we listen to the adults sharing their own limited projected fears onto us. Right. Or the judgments, or like, oh, you can't sing, or you can't do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So What did you want to be when you were a kid?
Oh my gosh. You know, at one time I wanted to have a horse ranch. And I wanted to have my dogs and my horse, and I was never going to get married, and I was never going to have kids.
Really?
I was just going to be on a horse ranch by
Free.
myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ride the horses and have a shotgun. I don't know. Yeah, I was going to move to Tennessee. What were you going to be?
I was going to say, that sounds like country. Yeah. That's nice.
What were you going to be?
I wanted to be Pocahontas.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to be Pocahontas and Snow White. I just wanted to connect with the animals, talk to the animals, with nature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Snow White really
wild
had
out
that
there.
connection,
She
didn't
sure
she?
did. Yeah.
I think maybe at one time I wanted to be Ariel.
See, these these fantasies, but you know what? I don't know. There is a theory that we used to be mermaids, or there is a such thing as mermaids in real life.
Oh, I believe it. And fairies. I believe in all of that.
Heck yeah. So that's not a bad, bad thing to want to be. I low key wanted to be a mermaid too. When I played in the tub, I wish I had
the fins. Yeah.
The
tail. Yeah.
Yes. But no, I really just love singing. Like, like Pocahontas, even though that part of the story didn't come until I was a little older. With Disney, with the singing and stuff like that. I still wanted to be like some kind of medicine woman. In the woods, in nature, playing with nature, and and fixing people. Naturally helping people. I just always wanted to help people.
Yeah. Yeah, and listening to our hearts is important. What is it that we desire? What are we passionate about? Those are messengers. Our passions are messages where they're guiding us as direction. But a lot of times we let our heads get in the way of oh, well, I'll never, be successful in that, or I won't make enough money to live on that, or or there's already enough people doing that, or there's so many things we tell ourselves.
Yeah, limited beliefs and limited thoughts and agreements.
But our hearts are powerful. They're saying that our hearts are more powerful than our minds. Yeah. Like the electromagnetic field that comes out. I've seen it's like a toroidal or something. Yeah. Like it comes, I don't know. It creates like a whole field around us or something.
Yep, from the heart coming out, and I think from this way too, or something like that. There's a lot of directions, but that's the pulse. So all of us have a pulse, a natural pulse, and that's where it starts from here. However, we're pulsating from the heart space is the main vibration of, what I'm saying, whoever we are as individuals. And that's how we create through the heart pulsation. I guess the things that make us feel alive, that's what, what I'm saying, what speeds up the process of even attracting stuff.
Yeah, magnetizing it into your life.
Yeah.
And when you put people in a room together, their hearts, it takes a certain amount of time, but after so long, then their hearts synchronize.
For real?
Yeah.
Gee.
They start beating together. That's one of the things I think we should do at our drumming circle is there's a heartbeat frequency, and drumming to that heartbeat and tapping into our own hearts, I think would be kind of powerful. Even they say, they used to sell those, I don't know if they still do, but when my daughter was little, they had these bears that you turned them on and they had the heartbeat because when we're in the womb space, we hear that.
Yep.
And it's comforting to us, so then they made those bears that comfort the babies.
Yep, I remember those.
It's kind of similar to clocks for puppies. You get a new puppy and it just cries and cries and cries. They say to set like a ticking clock, that tick, tick, tick.
Really?
And it's supposed to calm the puppies down or help them sleep because of that noise. They're similar with their mothers. Yeah. Wow. That's cool. So much.
It is.
Now, I will say, well, no, we probably shouldn't. I don't want to talk about another institute, especially not negatively, but I will say that there's this institute that is growing in awareness. And someone brought to my attention that just to use discernment and be aware, because they're wanting more people to use more apps and be on their phones even more. And which goes against, more of my mission of grassroots, of getting closer to nature and less with AI. AI and technology has with purpose.
Yeah,
it can be very helpful to us, but I can also see it as a distraction, or maybe not even good for our health, right?
Yeah.
The frequencies.
Yeah.
And stuff. So I don't want to say anything bad about that place, but I also want people to just use discernment, because some of these things that are coming up, because people are realizing we need meditation and we need yoga and we need these things in their lives, there's businesses out there that are going to look at that as, how can we make money? And sometimes the greed and making money can overshadow what is the best for people. What is the actual best thing for people?
Well, yeah.
And so as long as people are using discernment, if it's something that's just going to have you on your phone more, it's probably not. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, that
you can meditate without your phone.
It's hard enough stepping away from the phone. It's so addictive.
Yeah.
And when it comes to health and mindfulness, you can't, it's almost impossible. It's pretty impossible to be present, trying to tap into yourself, the divine inside, and consciousness and breathing, and you're holding the phone at the same time. Like that is, like, meditation is our medicine.
Right.
And nature is our medicine.
Right. And this has an energetic field to it, the phone.
Yeah.
And so this energetic field is then going to affect your field. And I would say, before it was, they had a pill for that. They got a pill for that. They got a pill for that. And we fell into that as a society. Our society, I saw it, they fell into that. It was a pill, just fix your problem with a pill.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling the next thing is we got an app for that. We got an app
for
anything and everything. We got an app.
Well, yeah, it's already been happening. There's a watch that will help you regulate your anxiety.
But if we become dependent on these things, just like people became dependent on pharmaceutical drugs,
it's defeating the purpose of true healing, natural healing.
It's handing our sovereign power of ourselves over to something outside of ourselves again.
Yeah,
right?
And everything is inside.
Yeah.
So
if you can learn how to lower your anxiety on your own, you don't need a pill for that. You don't need an app for that. You don't need a watch for that. Then you don't need anything outside of yourself, right?
Yeah.
You just need yourself.
That's it. And, support group, people who can, help you sometimes when you can't, or divine that is within. We always got that partner.
Yeah. I will say that. I love that about our friendship, is because I feel like not only do I feel safe with you, so that's important too. When you're picking friends, notice how you feel in your body.
Yeah.
Do you feel safe in their presence? But not only do I feel safe with you, but I can also bounce ideas and scenarios and situations and be like, what do you think? Because I think that is important, to have friends that, and I feel like if I was in the wrong, you would be that truth handed to say, no, well, and even in a kind way or tactful way, you'd be like, hey, maybe what about this? Or, I don't know.
Different way of looking at things.
So it is helpful to have a good support system. Yeah. Have people around you that are mindful as well.
And honest.
And transparent and trustworthy. Yeah. People you can feel safe with.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, putting your hand on your heart, making that connection, closing the eyes, deep breathing there. Well, look, there's a couple different things. One of the things setting the intention to connect with that heart-centered intelligence or that heart intelligence. Um, Another one is thy will be done. I've had people say that.
Really?
Because, we used to say thy will be done to something outside of us. But if we put our hand on our heart and we say, thy will be done.
It's the source within.
Yeah, it's like the heart's will. Let the heart's will be done, like supporting and truly loving ourselves enough to say, I want what my heart wants, or I'm going to allow my heart to have what it wants.
Yeah, and trust it.
Yeah. That will be done. And then, again, it's not something outside of us. It's within.
Everything is within. In this world and what we're coming into, that is the ticket. That is the ticket. Even nature, that is the ticket. Everything that we searching for outside of ourselves is inside of us. And and I was just talking about this, but that's something totally different. But coming back into the heart, okay, coming back into the heart, the beat, the information, the DNA that's within our bodies, tapping into the heart space and breathing.
Yeah.
It literally sends information.
Well, we've been on the brink of a possible recession, right?
Yeah.
We've been on the brink since the what's it called when all the prices go up? Inflation. Since we had inflation, and then even since we weren't getting products shipped and things like that, right? There were businesses waiting on things for like months, and
supposedly it's that.
Right. And I'm really surprised humanity has just kept moving forward. And everybody around me, anyways, everybody that I run into has been in a very good, upbeat, like attitude. But I will say this, for those are at home that may be struggling, they're dipping into that root chakra. The root chakra is that fight, flight, freeze. It has everything to do with our security and stability. And when your security and your stability is threatened, it's very easy to get stuck down in survival mode. But the quickest way to get out of that is to come to the heart.
To the heart. Absolutely.
And say, I want to be guided from here. Not there, not in my fear. I want to be guided from my heart and see things as opportunities. So if you get laid off from your job, it's so easy to go like, oh shoot. I think you can't cuss on YouTube anymore.
Oh,
yeah. So oh shoot, like what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
And it gets really scary. Am I gonna lose my house? Am I gonna lose my car? Am I gonna, and what I would like to just say is, come into your heart and come into trust that maybe this is an opportunity, that job wasn't serving you, that it was keeping you down, and that it was hard on your body and maybe stressful for your mind. And now this is an opportunity for you to think about, well, what could I do, or what do I want to do? How could I create something that does make me money, but that I enjoy, that brings me joy. I told someone this morning, even today, I said, every time you come into a struggle, come back to the affirmation of, I want, no matter if the situation, because she's kind of in a situation and she doesn't know what's going to happen. And that unknown can be scary.
Yes, very. Yeah.
And so I said, that no matter if it goes this way or it goes this way, you want joy and happiness.
Yeah.
So if you can say, I am attracting joy and happiness, and that I trust that whatever happens is going to be for the highest good of all involved in the situation. And if that's your goal and your intention, it will serve you and it'll work out that way, and it'll work in your highest better. Because sometimes we can't even imagine. Like we think, oh, I want this and I want that. But if we kind of let go and let God, let universe, whatever you want to call it, sometimes it sets us up into situations that we would have never imagined that are better than our wildest dreams.
For real.
And I've witnessed that. I can testify, like Even
Same.
today, I'm like, man, I love my life. Like,
Yeah.
love the people that are in my life now. And yeah.
I always like to follow love over fear, because we have so much that intentionally puts, is all in our face. Fear, 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 the fear factor.
Yep.
And that closes the heart chakra. So you don't trust, you know what I'm saying? You don't trust anything, not even your intuition. You don't trust God, universe, source, whoever you believe in. You don't trust anything except for something that is outside of you that is causing more fear. So my thing is always love over fear with everything. And that brings me back from the headspace, from the mind that creates everything and receives everything, back into the heart, like what feels good, not in a sense of dreamy, but in a sense of, like you said, trusting. Trusting the process, trusting that no matter what happens, I'm going to be okay. What does love feel like? What does love look like? If I trust it, like if I was truly loved, that's the beautiful thing about affirmations. Like, I am loved. I am loved and I am loved. I am, you know what I'm saying? I am abundant. I am prosperous. I am prosperity.
I'm worthy of love.
I am worthy. You know what I'm saying? And what we feed ourselves initially goes back into the heart, because like taking care of ourselves also does certain things to our hearts, because our heart is now seeing that we're putting in the effort to take care of it. So it's like, it brings it back alive too. Like, that is also activating something in us that brings confidence. Like, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to be okay. And laughing. We were talking about laughing. This is part of the self-care and the self-love, which is part of coming back to love. You know what I'm saying? Like, regardless of what fears come my way, what does love look like? What does love feel like? And that's where I want to go. That's how I want to feel.
That's a good way to check in, especially too with our agendas. So, like, let's say a situation happens and we take a minute and we're going to respond. We can ask ourselves, this way that I'm about to respond, is it from a place of love? Or is it coming from a place of fear? And if it's coming from a place of fear, why is that there? That can really help you get to some root causes of things
questions.
Too. Yeah, because if you're going, wait, this is actually coming from a place of fear, and I actually fear this, and it usually either comes from like an insecurity or comparing ourselves to others, or and then once we can figure that out, we can be like, wait a minute, that's my own stuff. I need to look at that. And here I'm about to respond to that person, and they have nothing to do with this insecurity of mine. This is totally mine, So it's like, owning your own stuff too, and being mindful and accountable, and still being able to come from a place of love once you recognize what's yours.
That's the fun part.
Yeah.
When you realize, oh, that's mine. Okay. Ouch.
Eye-opening. Yeah.
That's heart opening.
Humbling.
That's the one. Like, okay, let me be quiet. Sit back and you get it.
Yeah. So, okay, love and fear. That's a good check-in. Heart.
I think closing the eyes helps a lot too. To come back to the heart.
Yeah, draws off the senses to go back inward.
Yeah.
I feel like there was something else I was going to say, but I can't think.
Now, okay. The heart. It's the heart. Like, do you know if any other organs are connected to the heart? Is that a stupid question? But I really want to know. Because you know how, like, reproduction organs, some say they are connected to the heart, but are they really?
Well, your fascia connects everything.
What's fascia?
Fascia is that deep connective tissue. So you have like this underneath your skin, you have like this, and they say there's an intelligence in your fascia, you know. That's how your like, you know, nerves, you know, everything is connected.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say there's not anything inside of you that's separate from the rest of you.
Facts.
You know?
Mm.
I mean, even look at the bottoms of the feet in reflexology. Certain parts of the feet, one's the brain or one's the kidney, and one's the, you know, just in the feet alone.
Yeah.
You know, and then of course, then you've got acupuncture, different nadis or meridians, heart meridian, small intestine meridian. You know, it's all connected.
All of this intelligence right inside the body, like a big old computer, except for it's natural and it has way more information, infinite information that we can't even wrap our minds around. Like,
yeah, they say that our bones even hold like 13 million years worth of data.
Wow.
You know, memories are held in bone just like things can be held in stone. And then water holds memory, and we're like 70% of watery. So I mean, that's how they say we can, you know, we access the Akashic records. We can access anything from past lives to ancestral memories, and yeah, it's craziness. There's so many things that we don't even know yet. Too.
That's why I get excited about learning. Yeah, about the inside. The inside.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother world. I love going inside.
Yeah, so I want to say the heart gland that it affects is the thymus. Okay. Because the throat, I think, is the thyroid.
Yeah, the throat is the thyroid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think the heart is the thymus. I have all this stuff. I didn't know what we'd be talking about today. Exactly. So I would come unprepared. Only what's up in here in my noggin.
Yeah. Unless you can tap into the spiritual realm and something comes down.
Plane. Yeah. Yeah.
That's cool.
I think the heart is a gateway. I've even read that it's the gateway to open up or activate Kundalini.
Really?
That you have to go through the heart first. It's breathing in through the heart, then down to the sacrum, and then back up again to the crown.
Wow.
So if people can get into a practice of that, they'll probably have a Kundalini awakening.
Dang. That's an activation. Wow.
I'm sure there's so much more.
Yeah, there's always always more. I just ain't got it.
I would definitely say whatever the vibrancy or the frequency your heart is on. So if you are holding a lot of grief or resentment or blame, you know, that's going to keep, and you're going to keep attracting those situations to you until you work it out. I can attest to that personally. You know, had to work it out. And then when you work it out, you start to see everything externally changing after you've done the internal.
Everything that we do internally is a reflection of how we see the external.
Yeah. So my forgiveness workshop, I always have people like make a list of everybody that's ever wronged them, and then make a list of everybody they've ever wronged. And a lot of times the same people are on the list. Usually those who hurt us are the same people we've hurt, and people we've hurt are the ones who've hurt us, you know. So, and then go through and have a conversation with their higher self. So you kind of go, close your eyes and envision yourself in a very safe room, and their higher self knocks on the door. You let them in and you tell them, hey, you made me feel this way, or you tell them, hey, I'm sorry for the way I made you feel. You know, have any kind of conversation that you wish that you could have with them that maybe you can't have in this 3D world.
Before, yeah.
You have?
Yeah.
You're so intuitive.
Oh my God.
And then I tell them too, you know, then envision the chakras and how they might have intermingled. Maybe you guys connected on the root chakra level. Maybe you connected on the heart one. maybe you were giving your power away. So maybe your solar plexuses are, or
Wow.
so, and then envision that, and then say, I release you from any energy entanglement that may have occurred.
Mm-hmm.
You are free and I am free. And then I let them use whatever choice, whether they want to cut it with scissors,
Mm-hmm.
whether they want to take a knife, or if they want to take a sword. Like
machete.
whatever you want to use. And then watch their energy be returned to them and your energy be returned. And then you can say, you are free, I am free. And then tell them goodbye and see them outside the door.
Mm-hmm.
And then I always have people like sit there and, anything that needs to come through. Sometimes you might have an epiphany. Oh, well, this was a pattern. And I got to not do this, or I need more boundaries in this area. Or, you might learn whatever it was, the lesson, and then you mark them off the list. And then you go down and you do this exercise with each person that are on these lists.
Yeah.
And, just, forgive them, because anger or unforgiveness or resentment is like drinking poison, expecting the other person to get sick. So super important to clear this energy center, get all that yuckiness and ugliness out of there. And we're doing it for ourselves. It's actually self-love and self-care that we're forgiving others, because when we carry those burdens of resentment and anger, we're really doing a negative thing to our physical bodies.
Yeah.
And sometimes people don't deserve their forgiveness, and that's okay. We're not doing it for them. We're doing it for ourselves.
Exactly.
So, and going back through your whole life, your childhood, if you're, a mom or dad said something that really hurt your feelings and stuck with you for years and years and years, it's time to forgive them and stop carrying that with you. They were only operating from their level of consciousness. They were only doing the best that they knew how to do, and they sometimes were very wrong, but just didn't know better, you know. And once you have that realization that they're just humans and they're fumbling through their own problems, it's easier to have compassion and let it go.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I find it like I find it easier to treat people differently and see people differently from how I've treated myself and looked at myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's always a reflection. Like, even with forgiving, like you said, forgiving parents who did certain things, said certain things that triggered, triggered us and made us feel a way. Like, now we're adults, it's time. Like, what can I do? Can't do nothing about what they said or did back then. And realizing they were only functioning at, at their own level of consciousness. And they did the best they could, the best that they knew how. So, like, and then me going back to my childhood in that space, forgiving myself, you know what I'm saying? Even in the now, everything that I've ever done wrong, forgiving myself. And the more I forgive me for the things that I've done in the past, it's easier for me to forgive, anybody outside of myself. You know what I'm saying? The way I talk to myself is a reflection of, the way that I talk to myself is a reflection of how I talk to other people. So anybody who talks to me crazy or treats me crazy in the now, it goes back to, you know what I'm saying?
That's how they talk to themselves.
That's how they talk to
think
themselves.
About themselves.
And that's using the heart. That's looking at everybody through the heart lens instead of the mind lens. Like, they just disrespected me. You know what I'm saying? I didn't deserve that. No, you didn't deserve that. Not at all. However, from the heart space of forgiveness, which is hard, especially when people hurt you and you don't deserve it, looking at things through the heart space. I remember a time when I hurt somebody unconsciously, not from my heart, from my ego. I need to forgive myself for that. Because I was in this space and blah, 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 blah. I see what they're going through. They really maybe they don't understand themselves. Maybe they moving out of fear, maybe out of hatred, envy, whatever it is. I forgive them. They can stay over there, but I understand from the heart space. And it frees the tension. It frees my mind. Like, I don't have to give you the energy that you probably want. some people really want you to feel a certain way because they feel a certain way. If they feel angry, they want you to feel that way, and they want you to react to it. And we can't give it to them. Just forgive them, and that sometimes that hurts people more. When you forgive them, that hurts them more. They're like, no, you don't forgive me. Don't love me.
Misery loves company. They want you to still be miserable and unhappy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's moving through the heart space. Like, nah, I can't. You my bro. You my sis, bro. I might not fool with you like that, but hey, I love you.
And that's one of the things too. It's usually about, I think, the third week. I'm looking at people going, okay, now did you put yourself on that list?
Yeah.
You know, forgiving yourself is huge, and so important. So important.
And forgiving ourselves. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Usually, when you get to the bottom of that list, then you realize, oh, I need to forgive myself too. Yeah, that's huge. That's monumental.
Right.
So, in the world of tarot,
okay,
wands mean action. Swords is like that mental energy. Pentacles is 3D, tangible, money, whatever. Cups is that emotion. And so I think about the heart being like that Ace of Cups. It's like your cup of love, right? And from my personal experience, I just kept like pouring my cup of love, pouring it and pouring it and pouring it. And then I realized, whoa, that cup was bone dry.
You ain't got none left.
So that's another thing too. I always try to remind people, you know, you can only keep pouring onto others if you got something in this cup.
Yeah.
And a part of refilling that cup is doing things for yourself, honoring yourself, loving yourself. That can look like boundaries. That can look like bubble baths. That can look like doing shadow work. That can look like forgiving yourself. That can look like speaking your truth. You know, it can look in a lot of different ways, but it's really important that you're constantly filling that cup. Even if you give a little, you need to fill it back up because you want this cup to just be overflowing so that you don't even ever have to pour. It just overflows. It's so full. You know?
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
I think that's a good analogy for people.
Absolutely. And us people with big hearts need those reminders often. Yeah. Pour back into me. Pour back into self.
Yeah.
Solitude, if need be. Definitely solitude. I think everybody needs a little bit of that.
That's the best thing we can do for others is work on ourselves and pour onto ourselves, because the more we keep pouring onto ourselves, the more just being in our presence overflows. You know, the healthier we are, mind, body, spirit, the better we are for others to be around, right? Or to inspire, or to rub off on, or
absolutely. Because I mean, we can't give what we don't have.
Right.
Just can't.
And I will testify, I was like this.
Yeah.
You know, I got to a point where I was grasping. I wanted people to love me the way that I loved them, you know, or give me what I gave to them. And it was finally when I was like, I'm going to give to myself. Then I didn't need to do that. You know, I didn't have to pull or cling or any of that. Yeah.
And it makes us healthier people. Because then it's like, because as human beings, we do disappoint each other. You know, it's natural. It does happen. So it's like, if somebody disappoints me, I've filled my cup so much to where, you know, I'm actually okay. I'm okay with the disappointment.
Yeah, well, and I don't even know what, you know, like if our cup is so full, if it's almost like we don't even have expectations.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I don't need anything from you. What you do for you, whether you're sabotaging or whether, you know, whatever you're doing over there, that you're doing it to yourself. Because I'm good over here.
Yeah. Initially, everything that we do to other people, we do it to ourselves, whether that's good or bad. Always. Yeah. Because you are another me. Yeah. Once again, you know what I'm saying? So the way that I treat you is a reflection of me. And if that's crappy behavior, I'm treating myself like that.
And I'm a big believer in karma. So those that take from you they're taking from themselves,
Mhm.
you know,
Mhm.
and it's going to come back on them.
Yeah. So keep
So there's
shining.
and once you know some of these secrets of the universe,
Mhm.
you don't ever have to live in fear,
Right.
because you're like, as long as I do good work, and I'm good, I'll be good.
Period.
Right.
That's it.
Good.
Very good.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I think we'll conclude the discussion on the heart chakra.
Yeah.
Until next time.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure once again, Laika.
Thank you.
And until next time, you guys.
Yeah, I'm Laika.
And I'm T.
And this is Conscious
Conversations.
Bye, guys.
Peace.